It does appear that still is in effect, and it will be in effect until 7:15.
Yeah, so we actually do have some new information, Chris, and I'm reading verbatim the text from the National Weather Service. We talked initially about how this was radar indicated. Right now, per the National Weather Service Cleveland, a tornado has been located near Van Lew or 7 miles to the east of Findlay. So based on this information, it does appear that there was a tornado that was spotted and is actively occurring, and this is moving to the east at 45 miles an hour, Chris. That's the data bulletin from the National Weather Service. Law enforcement has confirmed this tornado. So this is no longer just a radar indication. Law enforcement in Hancock County has confirmed this tornado near Van Lew or 7 miles to the east of Findlay. So I want to zoom in on the area where we are the most concerned about, where there was a law enforcement confirmed tornado. Van Lew needs to take shelter, get indoors away from those doors and windows, preferably your basement. Not only are we seeing the Doppler radar rotation, but we are getting confirmation from law enforcement that there is a likely tornado on the ground there, and this is now 7 miles to the east of Findlay. So this storm has passed the city of Findlay. Chris did give the all clear to the city of Findlay, and we've really narrowed in that pink polygon, including the city of Van Lew, where this damaging storm has likely produced a tornado. Additionally, there is going to be some quarter-sized hail with this one, and of course, with any tornado warned storm, especially when you do get confirmation, there is the risk for flying debris and damage. So please take this seriously. If you have any friends or family down towards Van Lew, you need to give them the heads up that this is not just a scary radar image, but it is something that has been spotted by local law enforcement. It's been something we've been on air with you every step of the way. This warning still does seem to extend until 7:15, but Chris, we did just get an extension there. If we look off to the east now.
Just as we expected we would, John.
Yep, as we expected. Now it does include Seneca County, and it also goes towards northern Wyandotte and northern Crawford counties. As far as the extent of these new warnings, we can broaden out the picture and show you where those warnings are in effect for.
John, go ahead and get me the times of those warnings, and while you do that, we're going to bring it back over here to the weather wall, because we're going to talk about, we've got that velocity signature pulled up right now. We're going to get really specific with this. Mentioned before, 568. Remember, we're using that as our landmark. This is the area that I'm seeing the potential rotation. So to give you a landmark, here we are in Van Lew. John mentioned it. I need you to be in your shelter place, safety place, if you are down in Van Lew. I suspect this rotation is just north of State Route 15. You may travel that often on your way down there toward Columbus, so you know this area as you head through Van Lew. It is just north of State Route 15, right along 568. So if I can bound this area just to the north and to the west of Van Lew, that is where we're seeing the potential rotation. And as John said, this is more than just potential rotation. At this time, it has been confirmed, or at least believed by law enforcement, that there has been a tornado at some point on the ground, and we can highlight specifically where that area is. And again, I'm going to give you that all clear. In Findlay, here's along State Route 37. If you're in State Route 37 or live along that route or west of it, you are all clear as well. That active tornado warning is just east of State Route 37. I do believe the circulation is closer to about 568. That is State Route 568, just north and west of Van Lew. There's State Route 15. This is a feature on Doppler radar that does indicate the potential of rotation. And John, if you could switch back to our reflectivity feature, we'll see if there's any indication, because in addition to the rotation we're seeing here, yeah, it's on the southwest corner of that storm that has shown that rotation. So not unusual with that. Another area of concern, John, and this is just outside of that tornado warning, looks to be perhaps a hail core that's developing on the northwest corner of that. That is going to be moving across 23. Should stay north of Cary, although I need you in your safe spot if you're in Cary, because we have that active tornado warning that does include now northern Wyandotte County, southern parts of Seneca County, and it does include New Regal. About 20 minutes ago, we gave you the shout out and said heads up. Next up, it could be New Regal. That is along, here's Route 23. Moving through southern Seneca County, there's 224 where that tornado warning does impact. John, you should have the latest information out. What counties officially are under the tornado warning, and until when?
So in addition to the Hancock warning, it is until 7:45 that we have these new warnings that were issued, and that includes the southern tier of Seneca County, as well as far northern Wyandotte and northwestern Crawford counties. So there is a little bit of an extra buffer time accounting for the motion of this storm. We talked about how it's moving to the east at about 45 miles per hour, now exiting Hancock County, and it is going to be racing through Seneca County within the next 45 minutes. Again, it's 7:09 p.m. right now. This warning extends until 7:45, and it also does does clip the northern tiers of Wyandotte and Crawford counties as well with that direct east motion. And we do have confirmation that a tornado was spotted by law enforcement, and that is why the National Weather Service opted to extend it, because it does look like this storm is maintaining its intensity. Those pink polygons show you the newly minted tornado warnings. Meanwhile, on the backside of this system, we still do have thunderstorm warnings that are in effect for portions of Putnam and Hancock counties. So those are also some strong and powerful storms, but we're keeping an especially close eye on the eastern extent of this storm cell. I want to put back up Doppler radar in motion. You can see almost a due easterly motion, and these are moving very quickly at about 40 to 45 miles an hour, racing into Seneca County. We've been keeping a very close eye on any additional reports, especially looking at locations now that are exiting as this storm exits Hancock County and pushes into Seneca County. That is going to be our next focal point as far as where this storm will bring some significant impacts.
And John, that's exactly what we're going to do, and that's where we're heading next, because that threat is, as John said, and very spot on. John, great data and great assessment with that. Is this really kind of evolves by the minute? So just about a few minutes ago, we said it was north of Van Loo. So here's Van Loo. It appears this is going to be scooting just north of you. So north of Van Loo, north of 568, this is going to get ready to exit. This is the Hancock-Seneca County line, and right along there, there's 223. So anywhere from about Cary all the way up to Fostoria, I just want you to be in your safe place. So if you are in Cary, you are under the tornado warning. You are next up for this, although I do suspect that this may go just north of you. We did get word from the Hancock County Sheriff that they have no reports of damage at this time. So that's great news. So we've got the tornado warning. We've got the coverage. You are all clear in the city of Findlay. We continue to be broadcast, though, over the air with our radio affiliates down there. So if you're in a location that is still under an active tornado warning, I need you to crank the volume up of the TV, crank that radio up. WFIN and our other radio partners carrying our over-the-air signal to let you know what is happening and where. So we're along 23 now, so we're getting into Seneca County. There's 224 in the junction of 23. It appears that from about that junction or intersection with 224 and 23, along Route 23 to about Cary is where we're going to be seeing that greatest risk as it now enters into Seneca County. That is also going to be including parts of Seneca County that includes Tiffin as well. So John, if you could go a little bit wider with this, Tiffin is technically under that tornado warning as well. Really goes just along 224 into the city of Tiffin. Here is Route 587 as well. That's State Route 587, where the junction with 224 does come in western Seneca County. It's right in this area that we've seen that rotation, or at least possibility of the rotation, that's going to be getting very close to crossing 23. That is going to be south, well south of Fostoria, but north of Cary, where that rotation's occurring. John?
So I do want to give a special update to New Riegel. The city of New Riegel is in the line of fire of this storm. This is an area that the National Weather Service has identified as being a strong risk for a possible tornado on the ground. So if you have friends or family in New Riegel, I do want to give you a special warning that this tornado is likely headed in your vicinity. I do also want to show you the local storm reports, because we do have some new information. I talked about the funnel that was spotted near the city of Findlay, and also law enforcement observed a likely tornado. This occurred at Ohio State Route 37 and Township Road 168. And right now we are watching this likely rotation moving towards the city of New Riegel as this enters Seneca County. So we are now watching the storm move from Hancock County into Seneca County. So it's locations in western Seneca County that do need to be on high alert and be in that tornado shelter immediately as we watch the strongest rotation currently to the north of Cary and the southwest of Tiffin. That is where we are likely seeing the strongest rotation on Doppler radar right now. And the city of New Riegel, I pointed out, take cover now. There is a likely tornado that is racing in from the west. And also we're seeing some heavy rain with this one. I do want to also give you note that due to the rain, this can be a potentially even more impactful situation because it's not always clear, even with trained spotters, when there is heavy rain potentially wrapping around the periphery of a funnel or a tornado. It's very difficult to identify. And as we approach the sunset hour, it's getting dark outside. So New Riegel, Seneca County, get in that basement and get in that safe shelter.
Very good point there, John, because this is very likely rain-wrapped. There's some strong words coming with this warning now out of the National Weather Service office in the Cleveland jurisdiction. And John mentioned it as well. I talked about that junction with 224 and 587. New Riegel should be about right in this vicinity. John, why don't you go ahead and get a little bit closer, and I'm assuming it's going to come in right around the end of the fingertip. Yep, there it is. So New Riegel, this is 587 here. there's 224 on the northern extent of the screen. Here's Route 23. So we're well south of Fostoria. We're well north of Cary. It looks like that threat is now crossing Route 23. If you are hearing my voice in New Regal and you are still not in your safe place, you need to be in your safe place at this point because it is coming into your area. Moments from now, that potential circulation is going to be crossing Route 587 in and around New Regal. Now, it does bear a warning here that the Hancock County Sheriff did report no damage across Hancock County at the latest check. This is now moving into Seneca County, and we still have fairly strong indications. We're looking at some of that rotation. It does appear that it is just on top of New Regal at this point, south of 224, and it does look like that rotation is to be coming through New Regal, John.
Yeah, and we did just get word that that likely rotation has just crossed U.S. Highway 23. So, Chris, that's the spot you pointed out there. Has just crossed State Route 23 and is moving to the east. The storm motion is still due east at 40 miles per hour. So due to the fast evolution and development of this storm system, you need to be ahead of the storm. So anybody in Seneca County there, get to that shelter and get to that safe spot, especially the city of New Regal. But due to that storm motion, and I'm actually going to put a storm cone on this one to give you a better idea for when you can expect it, assuming it maintains that rapid motion to the east at 40 miles per hour. So we're going to draw this storm cone to give you an idea of when that rotation is likely to arrive in your neck of the woods. So it's moving to the east. Seneca, Bloomville, New Regal, you need to be in your safe spot. New Regal is just minutes away from seeing that rotation directly overhead now that it's just crossed State Route 23. So we did just get word from the National Weather Service that Hancock County is no longer within the confines of this tornado warning. So we are giving the all clear for Hancock County now. Chris reported that there was no damage reported. You'll notice the pink polygon no longer includes Hancock County. So our focus is now shifting to the east. We're watching especially that southern tier of Seneca County, especially the city of New Regal. We are also watching northern Wyandotte and northwestern Crawford County now that the polygon has passed off to the east. So looking at the city of Findlay down towards Van Loo, you have the all clear. This storm has now cleared your vicinity and is now moving into Seneca County, still maintaining that very quick eastward motion at 40 miles per hour. Again, Hancock County no longer in that tornado warning. We are still keeping a very, very close eye on this. You'll notice those bright purple colors. We have now crossed over to the east of State Route 23, moving towards New Regal. There's State Route 587. That bright purple color shows you where there is likely rotation and a possible tornado on the ground, moving to the east towards New Regal and Seneca, pushing into central Seneca County. So we do have an updated report from law enforcement that there was a reported tornado on the ground just to the west and southwest of New Regal, and that is as of 7:15 p.m.
Okay.
So that's an area that we identified, Chris.
Yep.
West-southwest of New Regal.
And I want to give another shout out here too, because John, if that is exactly the case, again, New Regal right in this vicinity here. We've also got Berwick, which is just south and west, or south and east rather, on 587. So Route 587. John, if you could get me in this area here. There we go with New Regal, and this is where we're likely seeing just on the southwest side. So it's probably in this vicinity that we're seeing that. So we're now east of Route 23. So that is Route 23 there, the bend there that is now moving to the north and to the east, or almost due east at about 40 miles per hour. So New Regal, 587, you still need to be in your safe place because we are getting more serious confirmations, or at least indications that we've at least had or continue to have a tornado that is on the ground. If we widen this back out, John, because we're right along 587, I do want to indicate where we're going to be going next. So we're going to be headed to the south end of Tiffin. So if you're in the city of Tiffin, that circulation is off to your south and west. And we are getting reports that we've got the sirens that are going off all over Seneca County, and rightly so, because this is an indicated tornado that has been or likely on the ground. So southern parts of Seneca County, this is going to be continuing its easterly motion. No indications that this is weakening quite yet, so need you to stay put as we continue to get updates on this. I'll give you the all clear in Cary. We're giving you the all clear Fostoria. We've given you the all clear in Hancock County. So that is a good word of note that those locations that prior were under that threat or risk of a tornado warning are now in the clear. So we do suspect, John, let's get back in a little bit closer to where we may be seeing that circulation in south and west of Tiffin. Reports that have been coming in that could seriously be something that continues to be on the ground. And at this moment, it would likely be crossing 587 right around or just south of New Regal, and that is going to continue to move to the east. So next up, it's going to be State Route 53. That's a major route that comes out of Tiffin. There's 224 on the south end of town, and it is going to be coming south out on State Route 53 in the next few moments. This is moving east at 40 miles per hour, so it covers a good amount of ground in a very short amount of time. That is going to be then headed over toward State Route 231. That is south out of Tiffin, so those are two of the state routes that are going to be next up. Currently in the thread, it is 587, heading towards 53, and then eventually heading towards 231. Tiffin, you are under the tornado warning. You are on the northern edge of it. We want you to be in your safe place. And again, this is what we do. We broadcast over the air when we cover tornado warnings in their entirety, as we know that these could be serious situations. So as it stands right now, John, getting a new scan that just came in there, can we tell if this is shifting now east of New Regal?
Yeah, certainly moving to the east very quickly. And to give you an idea, for those of you that live in the city of Tiffin, this rotation is currently occurring 8 miles to the southwest of you, and it is moving due to the east into central Seneca County. So we are watching, still that storm motion is very quick, east at 40 to 45 miles an hour, now moving over and to the east of New Regal. Now, the latest update from the National Weather Service still maintains this warning until 7:45 p.m. Now, in addition to the rotation aspect of this storm, we are getting some indications of some large hail. Some of that hail could be up to 1 inch, even slightly larger than 1 inch in diameter. So we are seeing the hail potential, also some strong and gusty winds. And that warning does continue until 7:45 p.m., not only including Seneca County, but also northern Wyandotte and northern Crawford County with that one as well. Now, Hancock County, we did give you the all clear from the tornado warning, but there is a new severe thunderstorm warning. That's the yellow polygon that you see there in Hancock County. So there will still be some potent thunderstorms in Hancock County, but as far as this tornado warning threat, we are identifying Seneca County as the area where the rotation is the strongest, 8 miles south and west of the city of Tiffin. Those of you in Tiffin and southern parts of Seneca County need to be in that tornado shelter. If you do have any friends or family from New Regal up towards Tiffin, make sure that they are in the tornado safe spot as well, because we are watching that rotation that is just several miles now away from the city of Tiffin, likely occurring just to the south and southwest of that, pushing into the central portions of the county. And we've gotten a number of helpful reports thus far this evening from the National Weather Service, from communicating with them, as well as trained storm spotters. And we did get that law enforcement report that there is a likely tornado on the ground in Seneca County. So we're keeping a close eye on that one. We mentioned that to you right at 7:15 p.m., and that was likely to the west and southwest of New Regal. It does appear that that threat is quickly racing off to the east and has now crossed over State Route 587 there, Chris.
Yeah, you know, I really want to focus on Route 53, because I think that's next up of where we're going to be seeing some of the more serious concerns, because if we do have that tornado on the ground, we suspect it is along 587, right around New Regal, just south of New Regal, that continues to track east at about 40 miles per hour. This is State Route 53, and really, if you are anywhere south of 224 from about Tiffin on 53, I need you to be in your safe place at this point, because this is something that is going to be something very serious. Just east of State Route 53, we've got Mohawk Golf Course out here. That is just off of Route 231. That's a good indication of where this is going to be heading next, because that is directly in the line of where this circulation is moving. On the south end of Tiffin along 224, that is one of the major thoroughfares that takes you around the south end of Tiffin. You need to be in your safe place. You need to be seeking shelter, because we have had several reports now, or indications of not only strong rotation, but law enforcement confirmation that yes, we have been talking about a tornado. Now, we did check in with our Hancock County sheriffs. No reports of damage that have been reported in Hancock County. You're all clear in Hancock County. This threat does include, though, much of Seneca County. It does technically, John, and correct me if I'm wrong, it still does go down into Wyandotte and Crawford County, but the data that you and I are looking at, it seems like that's a little extra conservative, even if you're in Cary or just east of Cary. The northern part of Wyandotte and northern Crawford County, you are technically under the tornado warning, but John, I think you'd agree with me. Our assessment says this is probably more so right out there toward New Riegel, tracking east at about 40 miles per hour. Bigger threat is going to be across Seneca County. We could be pretty clear about that.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Chris. It's Seneca County that we want to put on the highest alert, especially now towards the central part of the county, right along the Sandusky River there. That is a good landmark to use for where the rotation is moving. Now is quickly racing off to the east of New Riegel into the central portion of the county. So this is going to be several miles to the south of the city of Tiffin, where you see those vivid reds and purples. That indicates where the rotation is the most significant. And we want to give you a heads up that if this likely tornado is still on the ground, it is likely to cross State Route 53 right now. So those of you, as Chris pointed out, right along State Route 53 in the central portions of the county, that is where the rotation is likely occurring. I do want to point out some of those bright purple colors, and there's State Route 53. This storm cell is racing off to the east. There's the Sandusky River there in the central portions of the county, and this rotation is quickly pushing off to the east. So Seneca County, you are on high alert. This is where the warning is producing the most likely rotation, and especially those of you that live right around State Highway 53, where we were seeing those bright purple and red colors in the central portions of Seneca County, south central Seneca County, right along the Sandusky River there. That is where we are seeing the rotation move. This is now to the east of New Riegel, but is quickly pushing still to the east at about 45 miles per hour, Chris.
John, I'm looking at radar as well. I'm going to get a little bit closer in on this because we are looking at that indication of that radar indicated rotation that was confirmed at least once or twice by law enforcement and spotters that have been down on the ground. Let me give you another little landmark. If you're down there toward McCutcheonville, that is right there at the junction between 587 and State Route 53. So it's right there at the end of my fingertip. That is where McCutcheonville is. New Riegel is just north and to the west of that. This is coming out now along State Route 53. John mentioned it as well. So here's the Sandusky River that winds and twists its way through the entire part of Seneca County. That rotation is along the river right now is where we're seeing that rotation. So from State Route 53 along the Sandusky River, and it's going to continue its easterly motion. So if you are in Tiffin, I want you to take your precautions. I still want you in your safe spot. It does appear that this is about 3 to 4 miles south of Tiffin, where we're seeing some of that rotation along 53, and that extends from Tiffin all the way on 53 to McCutcheonville is where we're seeing that possible rotation and where we've gotten confirmation, at least by multiple sources, that there is a tornado on the ground. John, another thing I need you to do for me, take me back over toward Hancock County because there's been a brand new severe thunderstorm warning that was issued for Hancock County. So obviously we're a little tense after what we experienced down there in the city of Findlay. This severe thunderstorm warning, John, go ahead and give me a touch right here. Just let me know what time that's going to be in effect until. Was just issued moments ago. We've got that severe thunderstorm warning now till 8 p.m. That is in Hancock County. That's going to include the southern half of Hancock County. So we're looking at Mount Blanchard, Van Loo, over toward Route 68 and I-75. We've got Corey Rawson. We've got Bluffton in this area. That's a stretch of I-75 that takes you from Findlay all the way down toward Lima. That's going to be a really treacherous drive right now, severe thunderstorm warning. But most of our concern does remain with this. John, we are getting a brand new update as well. We get frequent updates, constant communication with the National Weather Service every 5, 10, 15 minutes. So every time we see the blinking nature of that tornado warning, it means that there's some new data or something that has come in. So we'll continue to watch that. And John, they're just kind of popping all across the area. Can you go ahead, John, as we approach 7:30, give me a wide view here because we need to indicate too as well what's going on here in the Toledo Metro and across the region. If you're here in the Toledo Metro, you're watching us across southern Michigan, we don't have any risk of severe weather. So we'll be clear about that. If you're in the Toledo Metro, Fulton County, Williams County, all of southern Michigan, now even back toward Defiance, we don't anticipate that there's going to be severe weather. We are covering active tornado warnings that are occurring, or tornado warning now in Seneca County, Wyandotte, Crawford County, brand new tornado warnings that are popping just south of Lima. That's been a storm that John and I have been tracking for a couple hours now that came out of Indiana. Gives you the indication the atmosphere is allowing these storms to spin and potentially be producing a tornado. So John, wider perspective on this as we approach 7:30 here. We've got that active tornado warning that is down there in Seneca County and an active severe thunderstorm warning that is in Hancock County. Estimating probably hail size 1 inch to 1.5 inches in diameter is what we could be seeing out there in Hancock County.
Yeah, in addition to the rotation, Chris, we are getting some reports of very large hail, possibly the size of a ping pong ball. And this map I've got behind me, the bright blue colors over central Seneca County show you where the hail hail size is the largest. Now, the latest information from the National Weather Service does show that that strongest rotation is now crossing over State Route 53. So those of you that live right along the Sandusky River and now to the east of State Route 53, that is where the strongest rotation is occurring. And those of you that live in the town of McCutcheonville, I do want to give you a heads up that the rotation is passing directly overhead your neck of the woods. I want to zoom in there on central Seneca County to show you now. That polygon was trimmed now to just include predominantly the eastern and southern part of the county. We can take off lightning. Again, McCutcheonville, those of you right along the Sandusky River and east of State Route 53, that is where the rotation is occurring. Now, we did just get a report of a utility pole down near McCutcheonville and State Route 53. That is an area we reported on where there is rotation occurring. Obviously, there's some strong winds, rain, and hail going on with this, so it's unclear whether that utility pole was down due to the winds, due to the thunderstorm, or due to a possible tornado. But either way, it is locations right along and east of the river there that we are seeing that rotation in central Seneca County. Those bright purple colors indicate that this storm is still racing off to the east. Latest update from the NWS still keeps that warning in effect for another 15 minutes. At 7:30 right now, this warning goes until 7:45 p.m. It has been trimmed a little bit to now just include predominantly the southeastern part of Seneca County, but those of you right along into the east of State Route 53, that is racing in your direction. State Route 231 also is in the line of fire this storm, and the city of Bloomville, if it does maintain its intensity, likely heading in your direction as well. But we did get that update on the town of McCutcheonville. Near State Route 53, there was a utility pole down, and that is where the strongest rotation does appear to be occurring right now. And Chris, we oftentimes look at various radar tools to indicate whether there may or may not be a tornado on the ground. Are you seeing any indications one way or another?
Yeah, so something that concerns me, and these are the tools that you're going to see with the WTOL 11 weather team. We have the ability now with Doppler radar, should we suspect tornadoes, to actually detect tornado debris. If you lived here in Northwest Ohio a long time, this is stuff that you really have never seen before. We could do it with Doppler radar because we could detect things that are unusual in the sky, and that's exactly what we've seen here. It looks like a confusing map, but I want to highlight one feature in particular. That blue hue there, that blue feature, this occurred just about 10 minutes ago. That is an indication, and this is somewhere far from the radar site, of what we call a tornado debris signature. That would indicate that, yes, we have a tornado on the ground, and not only do we have a tornado on the ground, potentially even a stronger tornado that could be doing some damage at this point, because that's how we get the debris lofted up into the sky. So, John, this feature was just about 10 minutes ago. Can you take me to the current time right now? We're going to see if we still see a feature that would be crossing. There's 53. It gets a little bit more discreet there, but some indications possibly. We saw it a little bit clearer before, just about 5 to 10 minutes ago, but we may be getting some debris signatures in this area south of Tiffin, right along State Route 53. Here's Route 231. There's the Sandusky River, just south of Tiffin. We could be very specific about it. And yes, you are seeing things that maybe you've never seen before, so we'll take the moment to explain it again. If we can do this with our technology, we can detect unusual things in the atmosphere, such as tornado debris, and potentially we have another indication that there's been some damage that's been done. So we're going to make those calls again down there to Seneca County authorities just to see if there's anything that was in the vicinity. Like you and I said, New Regal is about where that debris signature was showing up on radar. It's something that we did very successfully last year, if folks may remember, on June 15th of 2023, where we had an outbreak of about a dozen tornadoes in Northwest Ohio. We captured multiple tornado debris signatures on radar, and it allowed us, to be honest with you, to give that warning to save lives and to let people know that there was a tornado on the ground. John, if you can as well, I've got another slide as well prepared that's got the velocity signature. So let's go over to that velocity signature for this area. And yeah, John, we've got a lot of motion here, a lot of turbulence. We've switched over radar sites now. So we're actually tapping in to the Cleveland National Weather Service, and yeah, we're indicating that we are now seeing that rotation and some strong indications here that this is now just east of State Route 53. So here's 231 that is directly south out of Tiffin, and it's really fascinating to watch this unfold because we get updates every 60 seconds on this data. It continues to come in, so we've got new information that's streaming in. And what we're seeing here, John, it does look like we've got some indications of circulation. of winds that are moving toward the radar site and perhaps winds that are moving away from the radar site, which would show us that this circulation is still continuing south of Tiffin on 231. Here comes the junction with State Route 67. We've still got 224 as a marker here, and if you're out there toward Republic, you are in the clear. You are not in this warning, but I know it's uncomfortably close to you as that circulation is just southwest of you. I mentioned a little bit ago McCutcheonville. You're right in that area by 587 and 53. That circulation is now north and east of you, so we're about ready to give you the all clear in McCutcheonville, and we're going to give you the all clear, John, New Regal. We certainly hope that the folks are okay down there in New Regal, that everyone is without damage, and we can move on with our evening. But we're going to continue to cover this, and I'll tell you, John, we are not going anywhere with this because what we're seeing on radar, the potential of a tornado debris signature, the velocity signature that we're seeing, same stuff that the National Weather Service is seeing. If you are hoping to catch your favorite program tonight, just going to be honest with you, we're going to be in control of this situation for quite some time because if you're here in the Toledo Metro, I understand. There's no storms, there's no real risk of any severe weather, but we do this similar courtesy to you. If there would be a storm in your backyard or your neighborhood, we will by obligation cover any tornado warning. So just be patient with us. We're going to continue to cover this through its duration. That's just how it goes, folks. So 7:35 the time, we at least have that tornado warning, John, until 8 p.m. You and I both are seeing a very concerning sign across Seneca County that we've got rotation on the south end of Tiffin, just south of Tiffin.
Yeah, Chris, these radar tools are certainly incredibly helpful for pinpointing the rotation, but we are also looking to the National Weather Service for visual cues. What are the skies doing? What are the clouds doing? So we did just get a report that New Regal did see a funnel cloud and a possible tornado as well. So Chris just pointed out New Regal, how this rotation is now moving to the east of New Regal. So yes, we did get indication that, hey, there was a funnel cloud that occurred in New Regal. Now we gave the heads up to McCutcheonville moments ago. It does appear that the rotation is now moving to the east of McCutcheonville. And I do want to give a heads up to the town of Melmore, Ohio. You need to take cover right now at this moment. Melmore is a town in Seneca County where the rotation appears to be the worst. Melmore is located to the south and southeast of the city of Tiffin now. So that is where we're seeing the strongest rotation at the moment. Still seeing that 40-mile-per-hour eastward trajectory on this storm cell as it now pushes off towards the southeastern quadrant of Seneca County. I'm going to take off lightning and show you if we have any storm reports that are coming in. Of course, there's that funnel cloud I pointed out near New Regal. This has a history of producing a law enforcement reported tornado there to the west in Hancock County. So this is clearly not just a radar indication at this point, but we've received several reports from trained spotters and from law enforcement. This is the funnel that I just pointed out. Numerous observations of lowering funnel clouds, which of course are precursors to tornadoes. So with this storm's history, with the radar tools that Chris pointed out, and of course with the visual observations that we're getting from the sky, we are keeping a very close eye on all of the ingredients that are really set up today for a system that could be producing not one, not two, but possibly a tornado that has been on the ground multiple times or even multiple tornadoes. Time will tell on that, but right now we are keeping a very close eye on southeastern Seneca County there as we look towards the city of Tiffin. It is now southeast of Tiffin. Bloomville is one of the areas in the line of fire. You can see State Route 19 there, moving from north to south. Areas right along and to the east of that road is where we're seeing the worst of the rotation at the moment.
And John, you were spot on with that. And I want to go back to something that you said specifically. You said Melmore because that is exactly where we're seeing that rotation. We could get back over to that velocity signature. And John, you're just really on top of this. Melmore's right here at the end of my fingertip. So we are south of 224. This is Route 100, and Melmore is located right in this area. So if you're from Seneca County, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Here's where we're seeing our circulation is now along the Sandusky River. So here's the Sandusky River here. It snakes through the southern part of the county. Here's 231. This circulation continues to move to the east, moving east at 40 miles per hour, and it is coming right into Melmore. We're getting a brand new update, and look at that. That's a bit of good news. If you're up there in Tiffin, that tornado warning has now been trimmed back for your area. So that tornado warning now trimmed back in Tiffin. So if you've been in your safe place, I know it's been a few tense moments. I hope we've been here to talk you through it and to make sure that we give you the best information. You are now all clear in Tiffin, but right along now and east of State Route 53 is still where we have that circulation. There is Melmore. Next up, it's going to be Bloomville. That is State Route 19. And look at that. John, get me back over here because we just got a brand new scan. So move me a little bit more in that direction. Looking likely that we've just come through Melmore, and that's the immediacy of the information, how quickly we get those updates and how rapidly evolving this situation is. We are now, here's State Route 67, south of 224. So if you know that junction is just outside of Bloomville, State Route 19 here. We are really kind of on the southern edge of Seneca County, and that is where that circulation continues to move. John, you should probably have an update with the latest radar scan as well.
Yeah, we are seeing the latest radar scan, and we're also getting some large hail reports in Seneca County, Chris. We just got a report of 1-inch diameter hail. That's close to the size of a golf ball that is occurring in Seneca County. So in addition to a very likely tornado that did touch down at some point in the county, there could be some damaging hail with this as well. I do also want to point out that that polygon, that tornado-warned area, has been trimmed a little bit, which means that Wyandotte County is no longer under the impact of that tornado warning. So we will give you the all clear down towards Wyandotte County. It is now southeastern Seneca and northern Crawford counties that we are really pinpointing. I want to flip over to just the warnings. We still do have that thunderstorm warning that is occurring in southern Hancock County, and that one is going to be for some very large hail, some gusty winds and heavy rain. But as far as that tornado warning is concerned, that no longer includes Wyandotte County. It is now just southeastern Seneca County and northwestern Crawford County where that warning is in effect. Chris pointed out the town of Melmore. That is one of the towns we're still keeping a close eye on. Also Bloomville, Ohio, the National Weather Service has just identified that is where the rotation is heading, and due to the rapid motion of this storm, Bloomville needs to seek shelter immediately as well.
Yeah, John, that is continuing to be a rapidly evolving situation, and we're going to get a little bit closer to this active tornado warning. Bloomville is one of the areas that John just mentioned as well, that we're seeing this really intense storm, tornado-warned storm, that is along and south of Route 24, very familiar route. John had mentioned as well, just not only Bloomville, but next up it's going to be Attica. So Attica's just in this vicinity right here. You're a little bit closer to State Route 4. So State Route 4 is right here. You are in the path of this tornado warning if you are in State Route 4 anywhere in the southern half of Sandusky County. So John's putting the time of arrival out on this. So from it stands where it stands right now, this is going to be moving to the east at about 40 miles per hour. If we could pop me back up on the screen here. That'd be great. There we go. So here we are, Bloomville, State Route 19, just south of Republic. This goes along 224. Attica is right here. We've got Seneca East High School, which is just on the west side of town. I've been out there for several cross-country meets. Beautiful school in that area of Seneca County. You are under that active tornado warning. That is right along 224 and west of Attica. Right now where it stands, though, that rotation is along and moving towards State Route 19. So this is an area that is going to continue. We're going to continue with this tornado warning in its entirety based on what we're seeing, John, with the velocity scans, the potential for that tornado debris signature. John, if you could go ahead and throw that back up there, that potential tornado debris signature. And again, it's a tool that you're going to see the WTOL 11 weather team using frequently. This is where we're looking here, John. So let's go back a few scans and let's see if this changes over the course of the past 10 or 15 minutes. All right, there we go. Take it back one more. Tough to tell there, but it does look like we're going to watch this feature very close because I suspect we call this a correlation coefficient drop. And where we see that, it's a potential indication if it's co-located or located where we got that velocity signature. John, if you could switch over to the velocity, or we could scope this perhaps. Yeah, it's in that area. It seems like it's in that vicinity that we're seeing that rotation that is now east of 231 and headed towards State Route 19 right around Bloomville. John?
Yeah, also do want to give you an update, Chris, as far as the bigger picture on this. The National Weather Service has extended this to the east a bit. So if we're looking at the southern tier of Huron County, you need to be in your tornado shelter as that tornado warning has been extended into your vicinity as well. We're still watching very closely. Northern Crawford County is now under that tornado warning. And you'll notice the flashing pink polygon over towards the side of your screen shows where this warning has been extended and pushed off to the east by the National Weather Service. So, of course, where we're watching the most most closely right now is in Seneca County. Chris did point out Attica, likely before 7:50 p.m. The city of Attica, where that rotation is going to be directly overhead. Right now, the worst of the rotation is near Bloomville, and it is racing towards Attica. And this one has a very quick motion at about 40 miles per hour, so we can draw that over to the east. Again, by 7:50, within the next 7 minutes, Attica, you are likely in the line of fire of this storm cell. And I do want to give you that new information again. We're looking at southern Huron County also to be in the line of this storm cell as it continues to move directly to the east and is eventually going to clear out of Seneca County and move towards Willard. So after Attica, it's likely to be Willard that is in the line of this storm cell as it continues to move to the east. This tornado warning is still in effect for northern Crawford County. That does not include the city of Bucyrus, but New Washington and some other locations just in the northern tier of that county and approaching the Seneca County line. That is where we're watching. Again, this new information shows you we still have that thunderstorm warning for Hancock County, but the extended tornado warning that is now moving off into north central and eventually northeastern Ohio. And that warning is going to go a little bit later than the 7:45 time. The latest tornado warning that is issued for Crawford, Huron, Richland, and Seneca County, that goes until 8:15 p.m. So I want to draw an arrow to it. That goes until 8:15 p.m. We've got about another 31 minutes on that tornado warning. It is likely that it will expire at some point for Seneca County, but we are not giving you the all clear because the city of Attica is in the line of this storm cell, and it's eventually going to be moving towards Willard as well. If you live in Bloomville or you have friends and family in Bloomville, that is to the south of Republic, the rotation, the rain, the hail, the wind, that is all directly overhead of your vicinity right now as this races towards eastern Seneca County. Those of you in the city of Tiffin, not in the tornado warning polygon at this point, the worst of the storm is now to the south and southeast of the city of Tiffin. To give you an idea of how far away that is, we're looking at a storm that is just about 15 miles away from the city of Tiffin, but it is not moving towards Tiffin. In fact, it is moving towards Huron County, and Attica and Willard are going to be next in the line of fire as this storm system continues its eastern trajectory. And again, that newly minted tornado warning, that goes until 8:15 p.m. at 7:45 right now. Chris.
All right, John, we're going to continue that coverage. So I know and I understand the weather is entirely quiet across the Toledo metro, but this is a service that we provide for any county that is under a tornado warning here in Northwest Ohio, something that we take with very serious pride and dedication to make sure that we're giving you that clear and, yes, that calm, reassuring information that we're going to take you through this storm. So here's what I've got coming up here. John, I'm going to have you do a few things for me because I got the velocity scope, and this is exactly what we're seeing. It is now moving just north of Likens, south of Bloomville. That is moving east of Bloomville. Go ahead and, John, keep this feature up here. Just go ahead and touch that storm tornado debris icon. See if we can just, in this window right here from the palette, if we could just put that over and to see if we can have that debris signature. It would indicate, and maybe it's not showing up there, which would be great news. If we're not seeing that tornado debris signature, that is something that would be ideal at this point, but we are still seeing a strong indication of rotation that is now crossing State Route 19 just east of Bloomville. This is going to be headed towards State Route 4 out there toward Attica. Take us back over to reflectivity, John, and we'll indicate what we're seeing. This is a really hefty storm. Potential for quarter to ping pong ball size hail that is also occurring with this. And let's be honest, we're here in still the first half of March. We're not fully used to spring severe weather season. The WTOL 11 weather team, we're ready year round, but maybe this is catching your attention here early in the season. As it should, it's been a busy start to the season across much of the area, but we've got that circulation. Hefty storm that is in southeastern Seneca County. This is south and east of Tiffin. Now east, it is appearing of State Route 19, headed towards State Route 4. John, get me a little bit closer to Attica here. Let's see what's going on in Attica, because I'm a little concerned about that if that's circulation is going to be going south of Attica. All right, so there we are in Attica. If you've driven this route, that's 224 and State Route 4, extending back over. So I can actually highlight where we suspect this tornado may be. Here's State Route 19, Bloomville. It's east of State Route 19, south of 224, and west of Route 4. So I'm capturing that potential tornado right here in this area. This is where I feel it is, east of Bloomville and south and west of Attica.